somehow that person betrayed us, and so that's water under the bridge. What we want to do is we want to provide that place where men feel like, hey, I don't have to talk, but I can if I need to. I know I got a whole
Yeah.
community of brothers, and all of
Yeah.
them don't look like me. All of them don't believe like me. All of them don't live like me, don't dress like me, don't even think like me on all things. But at least I can come into a room without judgment, without feeling competitive, without feeling like I got to stand on my wallet or what kind of car I drive or what title I
Hmm.
hold in whatever community or whatever job. None of that is relevant. At the end of the
Hmm.
day, my neighbor down the street just drank himself to sleep with antifreeze. And it's stuff like that, bro, that we got to squad up and combat. These are the
And combat.
conversations we
Yeah.
need to be having because
Yeah.
none of us are above the suicidal ideations. And so we just got to know that brothers are in need of community, man. And I really, really, really hope that we can get as many men as we can out to the next breakfast, bro.
I'm gonna try too on my end because I do communicate with a lot of people, but my close knit circle is going to be Muslim brothers and Muslim men. But a lot of times in the Muslim community, because you find the Muslim brothers are real strong willed brothers. So, and they may be, I find with people that I know that Muslim brothers may be going through some things that they don't want to express or let out because they are strong-willed because of the studies of Islam. It goes in deep with dealing with the heart, mind, your body, everything. So you find to try to what you do is you try to find the solace in that,
Yeah.
what you're studying, what you're living. But the Almighty has created people for communication. He's created, relationships for communication. And that communication sometimes is needed to also elevate as well. So you could read a book. Any person could read a book and say, all right, I'm going to read a book of upliftment. I'm going to read a book of education. I'm going to read a book but okay, you sat down and read this book. You may have gained some things from the book, but now you need somebody to explain it to you. You need some type of expectation or say, such as the people that you have as guest speakers, to give you some type of, example on life and explain to you what you just read. So I'll try on my end too with a lot of brothers that I know, tell them, come out and check it out. Come out and see what this is about. Come out. A lot of people some people are going to be skeptical and say, Ish, I'm not, I'm not messing with that. I don't need a safe space, but, I'll try on my end too, for sure, man, because I think what you're doing is necessary, especially in today's world. Like you talk about your neighbor down the block, and I could probably have somebody with him, a neighbor around in my area that's going through it that I don't even know. You see somebody outside your house and he's waving, hey, and you don't know what he's going through. You don't know what he's dealing with. So,
That's right. That's right, bro.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, bro,
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks back, one of my good
Mm-hmm.
brothers, Dre, said, he said something. I had Dre as a guest on my pod,
Mm-hmm.
and he mentioned that I carried myself in a stoic manner, and I thought you ever look up words that you thought you knew what the meaning was, but you really look it up and
Yeah.
really it jumps off the
Yeah.
page at you.
Yeah.
I said, what does stoic mean? And so I looked it up and
Mm-hmm.
checked this out. A stoic is a person who can endure pain or hardship without
Mm-hmm.
showing their feelings or
Mm-hmm.
complaining. And I thought about that when you were talking about the Muslim men
Mm-hmm.
bearing so much but not expressing it like that.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of men, man, a lot of men are carrying stuff because we don't have a place for it's not acceptable anywhere for a man to open up and talk about his feelings or the trauma that happened that he had to suck up and get over because he
Mm-hmm.
has to think about everyone else and not himself.
I'm gonna tell you this much. I'm still kind of, skeptical, and my wife tells me, she says, she feels like, I feel like you have a little bit of trauma. And I'm still, I'm willing to communicate with people. And that's the reason for myself as well, why I started a podcast so that I can help people as well. But people don't understand a lot of times with this podcast, and it's helping you as well. You're each one, you're helping each other. So, I'm still a little skeptical to myself, but I'm willing to communicate to figure it out because I kind of pull back, trauma. And I think back to, the things that I've been through and say, man, maybe I do have some trauma. I don't know, but I'm willing to.
But you know what? Even with that trauma, I hate to cut your wisdom. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no. Go ahead.
Even with that trauma, man, we don't know the number of our days, bro.
Yeah, well,
So if we got something that's on our heart to do, man, get busy living or get busy dying, right?
yeah. No, it's time to live, man. It's time to live. We here to live.
Real talk.
We here to live. Dying is a reality, but we here to live. And we
Real
gotta
talk.
live. We got living to do. If we wake up every morning, we got living to do. So you got work to do. Bro, can you talk? Got work to do. People's podcast got work to do. So you get up, the Almighty has allowed you another day, work and live happy. And live happy. And you got to find ways to live happy. And those type of conversations that you have with men in these type of settings allows that opportunity for your mind and your heart to coincide with each other, where you start to understand and know you and get to know yourself, because it's about knowing yourself. So, man, I can't wait till October 12th, man. Seriously, I can't wait till, and all this. I'm gonna reiterate of that. I'm going to put the links for the bio in the show. The links for the bio, the address for Saturday is going to be in the show. All that link's going to be in the bio. So the listeners and everybody listening is going to be able to go to the link in this particular show and find out where Bro Can We Talk is meeting every other Saturday, and the tickets, where you can buy your tickets at for October 12th too as well. I want to touch your head on a little bit of things that you talked about when you talking about going into the urban communities, because that's something I've been thinking about too as well. But I come from a rough neighborhood, Brooklyn, New York, East New York, and a lot of people come from tough neighborhoods, and you always want to go back into your neighborhood or another neighborhood, and reach men, if they have color, if not, you just reach men to try to say, listen, let's find a different avenue, young man, or let's find a different avenue and do something different. Like, I always wanted to attack gang banging, drug dealing. I always wanted to go at that. What's your thought on that? I wanted to speak to people like that. I always want to speak to young men like that.
I think that the first time you look somebody in the eyes and you introduce yourself to them, you can't flinch.
No, you can't. That's right, for sure.
The first time you tell somebody, the first thing that comes out of your mouth, you need to be looking them directly in the eye, bro. And the problem is that so many of our men, so many of us, again, have not only been let down, but man, just you got grown men who've never had somebody that genuinely cared about them, that really gave a damn about them, period.
Yeah.
Let alone articulated that they cared about them. And so, man, that's been kind of the secret sauce, man, of my life, is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that stands for all people, bro. That stands.
You can say that. You can say that over and over again. Say that again.
Any demographic, man. Any demographic.
That's right.
So you can walk into a community where nobody looks like you, or you can walk into the urban community where everybody looks like me, and it holds true. And so I think that the first thing you got to do, is actually show up, right? But when you show up, man, listen, one of the things that's so difficult about leadership is is that you said something a few minutes ago. You said the first thing is you got to know yourself. And so the honest to God toughest thing for me in the last 4 years, I'd say the last 3 to 4 years, is that once you've got a full glimpse of what leadership is not, if you are a leader, and once you've gotten a full glimpse of the wrong way to do leadership, there starts a whole nother process of now becoming the leader that the people deserve. And the toughest thing for me has been going through that, knowing that there's more cutting that has to keep being done on me.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not a master of walking on water yet. Right? So just that knowledge, man. It's the humility that comes with knowing that you have more growing to do. And the only way to grow is to stretch. And stretching hurts. So
my pops used to tell me, man, he said, man, you know something? He said, you can live a lifetime and not achieve everything you want to achieve. And then he used to say, what's a lifetime? What's a lifetime? And you're like, wow. He used to say things to me that had me thinking all the time. Be always thinking, my mind thinking, and you go back in your room. And we didn't have video games at that time, so you go back in your room, did a lot of thinking. So, yeah, I mean, I hope that you, Damon, I hope that you do everything that you want to do and achieve with Bro Can We Talk, the podcast. And it takes you to, understanding yourself better, and doing something very big for, within your community, and also, maybe outside of your community as well. Because in today's, we always talk about today's world. That's always the today's world. Yeah. And then it's today's world, but we're older now, then. We're older now. We're getting into our late 40s and 50s, and we're starting to understand ourselves.
That's right.
We're starting to understand ourselves. So we know what we need, and then we look and say, man, if I know what I need, why not try to offer it to somebody else as well? Why not try to give it to somebody else as well? Why not try to say, listen, especially if you're somebody that has lived and been through some things, and you got a little bit of wisdom on you, share it. Impart the knowledge that you've learned throughout the years and share it. So these are the things that you're doing, man, and you got to be saluted for that, man. You got to be, keep it going, keep it pumping.
I appreciate it, man. I think that you said something earlier, and I don't want to glaze over that about men needing to get together for the sake of their health, because mental wellness, mental health is the reason why I need community. Is why any of us need community as far as mental wellness. Of all the organs in the body, the brain is actually the only organ that requires another human being's interaction in order for that organ to remain healthy. The liver, the kidneys, the heart, none of these need another human to be healthy. But if the brain does not have another human, isolation, you already know. So,
somebody used to tell me, that there's a wise man used to tell me all the time, isolation is like death. Isolation is like death.
Yeah.
And depression is a serious thing. I've realized that it's a serious thing. Sometimes you may not even know that you're depressed, or you have some type of depression, and you will be walking, because men can do this very well. Women, not so much. They have to do something. They have to have an outburst. They have to have something but men will hold it in, hold it, and get up, go to work, uh,